Pat? Before we get started, well, I could ask you, I guess, after you do your report. We're still in need of a phone number. Now, did you tell me there's no more lines coming into the courthouse? So what we do? What are we going to do about this?
I got a couple of suggestions, but I don't know if it's going to work. I talked to Beth about it earlier. I've heard around town that there's no lines in town, period. Just not for here, and the phone company's really struggling, so I don't know what we're going to do. I suggested to Beth maybe a cell phone might be an alternate locate source, but see, then there's no coverage out at the house. I have to wait until I come to town.
Right.
But that would be something we wouldn't have to switch around or go to an answering service, just a paid answering service where the people call a number and then they'd refer. They can hunt me down and find me. But then you're back to the 911 center. It gives the same thing for no cost. So maybe I thought if there's no phone systems here, maybe there's a phone line available to 911 center could answer and refer to me and give us a number. I don't know. That's things we're going to have to, it's on the list to be talked about the other day.
Okay.
What about installed out at 911 and transferred to wherever your location?
Well, that's what I said. If maybe they have phone lines available there that we don't have phone lines available here in Frontier. The Frontier guy I've been fighting with out at my house for 6 weeks now, and we're just getting a line up off the ground, and they told me that one boy that's local told me they're just getting lines available here in town. Every time somebody gives up a phone, then that line's already accounted for. So I don't know what we're going to do. We went through that one other time here.
What about wouldn't this be considered like an emergency? Yeah, because it's emergency. Wouldn't you supersede there?
I don't know. I asked in Charleston what they did about it, but everybody down there is going to cell phones. But I said, they got coverage.
Right.
And that most of the state has coverage. We're just a rural situation here.
Yeah.
Okay, you can get started with that.
Okay. Well, I don't have any balances for you today because I couldn't get through on the phone lines at the courthouse. The trailer status is. The trailer's sitting in Smithburg. We're working on it. The bills that Beth brought over to me today is probably for stuff that we've been buying for the trailer. We're still waiting for the lettering to be put on the side of it and the radios be mounted inside. We had the radios out of the other trailer. We salvaged 2 of those to use. We've also written letters to the oil and gas companies in the area. They're working in the area and asking them for donation materials to be used in the trailer. And what we wrote for and asked for was spill type stuff, absorption pads, log dam bars, and they make those up. They have absorption like kitty litter and bags of that stuff. And we asked for them to donate not money to the trailer, but material that they had available, extra surplus. And we've already got 3 written replies with wanting to know what we would need in the quantity. So I think we're going to get some donations to that. And that'll be for stocking of the trailer. We've got all the equipment's in the trailer, or at the trailer site. We epoxied the floors. We're putting so they wouldn't absorb a bunch of junk in them, and we're putting holdbacks on the side so we can strap materials to the side so they won't flop around, and shelving in there for a lot of the light stuff. A lot of this stuff's real light. It's for leaks and damming of creeks and stuff like that for spills. Our operational status is normal. We're in brush fire season. The fire departments have really been busy the last couple of days. Pipelines have been the main problem. Like yesterday up on Long Run at Greenbrier, one of the pipeliners had dug a pit, was burning debris in the pit, and he turned around with a hoe full of stuff and spread fire clear around everywhere he went. So the wind took it and ran with it. So we had about a 2-hour, they brought another dozer in and helped us, we had about a 2-hour run there. We had 4 yesterday in this section of the county. I think there was one more down in the farthest in the county, right at Troy. I think we were called to one to help Troy from the southern part of the county down there. And our rain level's still 10 inches low for the month, and we're sick. The creeks are up, they're 6 inches high, no power outages, no request for sources. The event the disaster that almost happened is in red. They forecast us to have a disaster we got already, and it didn't happen, and that just tickled me to death. We ended up with 3.75 inches of rain throughout the period, but it was 72 people out of power, and that was all down on the tree came out down on the Grove Summers Road down there, and it took that whole section out for power. So they were out for about 7 hours. They forecast 1 to 6 inches of snow and high wind, and just tickled me to death that none of it happened. On Friday, I met with the FRN. They want to become the facility up here. I met with their board of directors. They want to become a shelter for the Smithburg area. They have $9,000 in the bank for a generator, which generator is spelled wrong. And they wanted to donate that to us for seed money to start the generator, towards the generator project, and I told them that was fine. I am yet to get the second bid back. Did you ever get anything back from that guy, Rusty Kreitz? Did you? I never got anything back from him yet on the bid for the whole county, so I'm still waiting on the second bid to go ahead with the grant application. Upcoming events, the Red Cross has been requested to do a shoulder training and for setup and operation. He's not got back, Dave's not got back to me with the date yet on that. It'll be helped senior citizens. We have 17 people on the list, and we have 15 shelters in the county. We have not had the meeting on communications in the county for 2 reasons. One, we haven't finished up the shelter stuff yet, and as soon as we get the training on it, we'll be done with it. But the other thing we need to work on is, there's 2 things. We were talking about the phone line for OES in the county. We also need to establish a website for this county. It ought to be a Doddridge County site. Now, I know that several people's approached the commission about a site. I looked at the EDA site. It's kind of obsolete, to say the least. Louis and Ori and Clinton are still listed as the commissioners on it, so I think it's a little past due. It's a little right.
That's probably not good then. We've got a website. The EDA's got a website.
The EDA has a website, but the county of Doddridge doesn't have one, through the Doddridge County Commission. I think if we're going to set this up in the day of computer age, I think we need to have a website and then have links to it for emergency situations and stuff like that. I've worked with the radio station. We've got some stuff going on there. They've asked, I do a couple airings on their afternoon show. We're trying to work out some dates on that, about emergency preparedness and stuff that go along with that situation. We've got some other things in place. We tried the Doddridge County News during the last event, put some postings on there daily, and that seemed to work out. We've got some good feedback from that. So we're trying a couple of things locally for some alternate communication sources. Believe it or not, the broadcasting of the football games helped out tremendously with the radio station, because everybody found the radio station to listen to football games. Now they know it's there, and we can use it, and people over there have been super cooperative. But I got ready to fax stuff out to everybody, and they don't have a fax machine. You know, in this day and time, they don't have a fax machine. So we'll work around that. We can, if they're close enough, we can deliver stuff to them or call them. But anyway, I don't know if I should do it or the county commission should do it. If we get somebody, I can get somebody to set the website up, but then you've got the constant maintenance of the website and something like that. You know, it's not constant, I shouldn't use that word, but you need to maintain the website. There's been different things like the maps I give you of the shelter sites and stuff. People's asked for those. We can publish all that stuff, put it on the website, and then you don't have 40,000 copies of it running around. You can update it. You can do what you want to. And I would be more than happy to maintain the OES section of the website. I think that we really need to do that in some manner. If I remember right, there's been some people volunteering in the past to help with that or work on that, but I don't want to do something like that without the permission of the county. And, I think you guys ought to have a direct input on what's going to be put on the computer and, the information that's going to be out there. I think it'd be a good PR thing for the county too if we had it. So, and the phone line, we talked about it there briefly. There's been several suggestions. Like I said, I talked to Charleston about it. With no numbers available here, the courthouse is the place for it to be, but with no numbers and phone lines available here to do it here, I don't know how else we can do this. I'd like to, if we're going to do it, who do you talk to who takes care of all your phones?
Beth is the one that deals with all that.
Who's that?
Beth Callis is the one that deals with all that.
Okay.
She can tell you what it was.
Well, I didn't know, I didn't know if there'd be phone lines available to 911 center that could be transferred. We could do the same thing.
Like you and I discussed, that gentleman, I don't know what his name is or where he works for. Beth may know, but we get our phones with him, and he works with Carrie Means on the phone lines here sometimes. But I don't know what his name is, but he told me there was a way that we could go around it. And he said, we to let him know and he'd see what he could do. But Beth's got his name, I'm sure, but I don't know what his name is.
Well, one of the other things that was suggested was just pick one of the numbers here at the courthouse and list it as the emergency number, but you're going to have somebody calling in with a complaint, and you're going to end up being a secretary for something, and I don't want that. I mean, that you guys got enough to do without that, so.
They'd be lucky to get in here anyway.
Is there we can run it through, one of the things that they suggested was running it through an answering machine, run one of your, if this is for the Doddridge County emergency management system, and you need help with them and everything, and then let the phone line go through, put what they call pre-message, a precursor to your phone coming in, just put a machine in that would handle that. And I said, well, I guess that sounds logical, that can be done. But before we do the communication section of this plan, I really think it's important we have a number of some type that we use, post, and then stick with. So I think that's going to be my goal between now and the next meeting. I'm trying to back off on, I'm going to try to get the shelter training done as soon as I can, and then on this communication system, I like to back off until we.
And on this website, there's a couple in Charleston that had said they would help me do it. This past year, I've just been swamped and haven't been able to get them up here, but they'll come up and help me.
Well, that's good.
So we don't have any elections coming up, please God. So,
Special election, right? Well, what about Fran down at the water office, or what's her name?
She's not down there anymore.
Yeah, but she said she would help with it.
Really?
Yeah, she's real good about that
Yes, she
stuff.
is.
And my niece's boyfriend, he said he'll build the site for us. He said that's not a problem. He said, but now when it comes to putting the data on it, somebody else is going to have to maintain it. He'll do that's what he does for a living. And
that's why they're going to help, they're going to go out.
well, if you got somebody, the state do it, then that's probably a better situation.
Well, I mean, Kathy would either come up here or I could go there. And as far as I know, she would be.
Another wild night on the town.
Uh,
Another wild night on the town in Charleston.
But she could at least help me get started and show me what to do and stuff to get started.
Okay.
And then maybe they'd want to hire someone then to.
Well, if we could find somebody locally to do it or whatever, I just think it's part of the answer. When that lady sat in that meeting, he told us that she told her husband she wanted her computer running before her water well on the generator. I said, I knew this serious business. I mean, she told us at the meeting, she said, I want it on Facebook. And I said, how many people are in Doddridge County? And she said, 7,000 or 8,000. I said, I don't think I have that many friends. Because on Facebook, you got to friend everybody. She didn't think that was funny at all.
You want us to get Fran, see if she'll get involved in it, or what do you want to do?
Well, she could get it started, but
If I get started with Kathy, and I'll call her, and then maybe then Frank can even work with her
Yeah.
again
Okay.
too. That would be good.
that would be a good idea.
Yeah,
And I'll make myself available anytime
okay.
that you need it for me to come in and work on it. And on this phone thing, I'm gonna call John Dotson and see if there's,
Okay.
who he deals. I don't know, do they have Frontier down there? I don't,
No, it's,
I know there's a 2-line ladder between the crossover down there someplace we had trouble with when we first set the 911 center up between Ritchie and Doddridge.
yeah, it's some odd name, oh, what is,
It's not the Lungsford, or not,
Lang?
Lawford.
Lawford?
No,
Lawford
no,
Exchange?
No, no. No, it's, oh, I can't think what
oh, that's Citizens. And that goes clear over into Pleasant County, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay,
Citizens.
But weren't they all, haven't they been knocked out just about every storm that we've had?
Oh, yeah, they were down big time. But I'm
So-
not worried about them if we can,
it is. Let's see.
I just wonder, we're not dealing with the phone company proper, right? We're dealing with somebody else.
I can't understand why there can't be an extra phone line.
There's no lines available in
That's what
town.
they told Beth about all those lines available. Because see, I wanted an extra line in here for
I
our
wonder why you
office.
never got that.
And that's why.
Boy.
I still think it should be able to take emergency priority.
Well, I'm not going, I don't like to play that card unless we need it. I mean, you know, that's just abuse of power as far as I'm concerned. I'm gonna call phone company engineer. Okay, I'm gonna call Frontier's engineering division. Let's see what's going on there, and maybe if we start working on it from that end and work back around, and I'll get with you on it.
Okay.
If you can find out do you have a company for the courthouse that supplies your phone service, or
She pays 2 bills, 2 different companies.
I'll walk over and talk to her and
She
see.
pays 2 different companies.
Well, I didn't know. See, a lot of organizations, companies have a company that supplies their phone service to the organization, and that way they just buy the lines off of, technically that's what the 911 center does down there, until they
I
went.
think that may have been what this guy that was talking about was buying from me.
Okay, because I know down at the squad, we've got that big box up there that we've got like 7 lines in it. But some of them are aligned to the hill and another line back from the hill because they're dedicated lines. Okay, do you have any questions about anything other than that? If she'll work with Kathy, and I'll get with the phone company engineers.
You need some money put in your account for anything?
No, not that I know of. The trailer's paid for. We have spent, and Beth gave me, I haven't looked at these receipts, but I think, Sammy and them's been keeping track of that stuff. We're working with Smithburg Fire Department on it. Looks like we've got, probably a total of about $700 that we've spent on the trailer in equipment and stuff like that. So we'll have to have the radios installed. That'll be about $150 to $200, and the lettering will run another 100 or so, 50 probably. And we're setting on. I'm trying to set on not buying anything we don't need until we find out what the oil companies are going to donate to us.
All right.
We had one oil company that wanted to do the lettering if they got to put their name on it, and I said, no, I don't think so.
No.
No, I said, that's fine, but we did not the lettering on the side of the trailer does not reflect hazardous material. It's a special response unit because we did not want to enter into any liability with the county commission on hazardous material insurance.
Okay.
And we didn't think that if we respond to it as a special response unit, then we felt that would be, there's no way they could tack us for raising your guys' insurance because we've got a unit out here with a bunch of people that's going to do something dumb around some hazardous material stuff.
Okay.
I'm not sure that'll not keep them from doing something dumb, but maybe we won't have to pay the insurance as much on it. Trying to save them, but. Anything else?
Yes, thank you for your report.
Okay, we'll see you next month. We're back on the 4th next month, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I looked it up on the calendar, so I didn't know if it was.
Elections just mess everything up.
Oh, it's all over. I just wish they'd take their signs down.
I know.
Is there a law on that?
I thought they
Yes.
were. Yeah, there's some, they have so much time.
You made me, when I ran for office, you made me take that test. You questioned me, all that stuff.
I did.
Isn't it 2 days, Pam? Is it
30 days, they got 30 days to
Oh,
get them
okay.
done.
So why is that one sign out there in the boonies that's hung for 2 years?
Somebody doesn't know it's there, I guess.